don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
LOL. All right, guys. Now I feel like you deserve an explanation. First, let me, so we've got hey everybody. What's up, folks? Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay, this is weird. I'm not streaming from my normal PC today because we're doing a podcast. And in order to get the podcast done, I have to use my gaming PC, which means I need to, music is loud. See, I'm using a different PC to stream to you guys right now. So none of my normal controls for music or anything are working. Let me know if there's a problem with the audio or anything like that so that I can make sure all this is working. But I had like the wrong music profile was on. Everything is off. And that's because today, my friends, we are doing it. You're not gonna be able to change it. It's cut for this specific scene. I can't move it. Look. Oh. For this, I mean, what I can do is, this is going to be weird, but I can also do this. Is this better? This way you guys can see everything. Hello. Here's all of me. Did you know I had a lower half of my body? Because I do. Wearing a GII shirt. This is, we don't have the best camera setup right now. Bear with me, guys. But today we're doing another podcast. It's not going to be, can't turn the phone sideways. Trust me. I've tried all the things. Trust me, guys. I've spent hours on this. Doesn't work. So we're doing a community podcast today. Normally I like to bring people on and chat about different topics in the game. And a lot of times that's all really going to be, that's all creators, you know, they're people who are already on YouTube and Twitch and stuff and talking about this. So we wanted to make sure we had a show where everybody could come on that wanted to speak from the Discord community as well and get a chance to come onto the show. So we do this. We try to do it once a month. We've missed the last couple months. But this month, we really wanted to get a chance to talk to people after CitizenCon because a lot happened, you know, a lot went down. So if you are part of the Discord server, two things. First, anybody who is an active member can jump into the greenhouse lobby. You'll find it right there on the Discord server and join me. You can talk for 8 to 10 minutes. We'll chat back and forth. I've got, don't worry, we're not going to chat on this. I've actually got a real setup here for you. So you'll be joining me here if you'd like to on camera, or you can just, you know, be a Discord thing. I don't really know. And we'll chat about your feelings about Star Citizen. You can get up on a soapbox, talk about the things you think are a problem with Pyro. Maybe if you have, a few people have talked to me about topics they wanted to bring up for podcasts over the last couple months. Anybody who is in that position who wants to jump in, please do. And consider joining us on the Discord and setting your notifications so that if you do want to join us on the podcast, you can whenever we do one of these shows. Because this is the best way to get in and do kind of a pre-show so that we can maybe do a launch sequence episode later. But for now, that was kind of my preamble. I really just wanted to tell you guys how this works and give everybody a chance to get in. I'll still wait a couple more minutes before we get started so that people can take their time. But yeah, Punji. Hey, dude. Thanks for the 22 months. Good to see you. Oh my God, you guys can like see my hand. This is weird. Mr. Pink, what's up? Echo, how you doing? Tom, good to see you. Cantor, Kirk, Stang, Woody Bear. You guys ready to hear some opinions? I know I'm about to get a. Come on, I'm gonna look and see who's coming in. I know DJ Catmob's gonna be joining me today. Yeah, and Punji's joining us today. Look at you guys. I do have hands. I don't like that you know that now. That was like a nice little secret. One of the secrets of streaming. Streamers actually have hands. Keep them hands where you can see them. Pyro scum. Just gonna stream like this from now on. I am now a Star Citizen NPC. Warshak, how's it going? And I think I saw a where are we? Citizen Scott, you here? Saw a Yeti in here. There you go, Purple Yeti. How you doing? This is an official Garden Interstellar shirt. Bam! Bam! Right there. Designed by everyone's favorite Mrs. Tomato. And we were handing them out at CitizenCon. If you want, guys, if you want to join us in person, we like to hand out merch, usually stickers and stuff. Anybody who's going to Equinox West in California and San Jose, it's December 17th. It's going to be a pretty big bar, Citizen. CIG staff's going to be there. The tomatoes are going to be there. The other people from the garden I know are going to be there. So come hit us up there if you're in the area, anywhere within the, I don't know, 100-mile radius. And we might not have one of these official hot and spicy GII shirts, but we'll have a sticker for you. And next time we see you, we'll bring you a shirt. CitizenCon is the place to go for shirts. Marcus, what's up, man? Hey, you know what the best way to get on the Tomato Cast is? Join me right now. Get in the Discord, activate yourself, talk a little bit, and join us in the podcast today. There you go. You're in, buddy. Luna Maria, how you doing? Good to see you. Good morning, everybody. Woody Bear, my dude. You still want that hoodie you wore at CitCon? Oh, the one I wore. I love that hoodie. I don't know what. I think that's in the closet. That's a one-off as of right now. I think someday, Mo, we might. Oh, my mic is hot. I'm sorry, guys. I think someday we might do that one more. GII bit should be placed a bit higher, though. Yeah, I mean, this is we want this to be more up here, but the way that they display it when they show you, it doesn't exactly go where you want it. Mic too quiet now. Well, I don't want to blow it out. I have like two little dots of range here to not blow out your ears and not be too quiet. Did I watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes yet? Not yet. No. Wanted to start my own version of it first. Honestly, the boob logo is where it's at. The boob logo is what? That's I don't know. That's actually more of like a right here on my abs. Kinda. My belly. All right, y'all. So it's looking like we got a couple folks waiting here. Actually, we've got one folk waiting here to join us on the show today. Starboy89 in Discord. Cool. Jump into the greenhouse lobby. If you can't see it, message the mods and get yourself. Yeah, so how many people here use the Me6 bot? Did you know that they're starting to put everything behind a paywall? So we actually have a bit of an issue with people getting their ranks for getting the activity. So if you don't have visibility, oh yeah, the shirt is big on me. That's fair. This is like a really big shirt on me. It's a little large. If you don't have the rank or the visibility on Discord, make sure to just message the mods. They will make sure to get you whatever you need to get into the channel so that you can join us for this show. We want to let everybody into there. But yeah, Me6 is kind of going downhill. They're really embracing NFTs and like Web3 and putting things behind paywalls like mod tools. So we'll probably be switching off of that. But yeah, just a heads up, if you don't see the actual channel that you should see to be able to get into the show, that might be why. Now I feel a little crowded. Yeah, you made my hands self-conscious. Sorry. Not know what to do with his hands. No, see, that's what I do all the time. You just don't notice that I'm constantly fiddling with my hands. I have mad ADHD, for those who didn't know. So I need things to do. So I will constantly be just chilling here fiddling. That's why I have tea. I don't like drinking tea. Just like putting something in the air and making something happen. Oh, nice drinking sound. Soon I'm gonna have a hand camera. Then you won't be able to look away. Then you'll be trapped. All right. Why don't we get this started? And let's go ahead and I gotta record. I've started to get into the habit of just backup recording on my other computer. It's just looking at Star Citizen here. It's literally just looking at this, but better than nothing, right? All right. So, my friends, this is the Greenhouse podcast. This is our community podcast. It's hosted in the Discord so that everybody can jump in and get a chance to talk a little bit more about what's going on with Star Citizen, or whatever really the topic of the week is. But this week it's what's going on with Star Citizen. We will be talking with a few different members from the Discord. Depends on how many people want to jump in. And we'll be going over kind of CitizenCon over the last couple weeks. A lot of news has come out. Replication layer, tractor beams. CitizenCon was cool. 3.22.1 has been cooler in some aspects. And we've got IAE coming up with some pretty big vehicles and ships coming out. So wanted to take a chance to do a community show today. Talk with the folks about all this, everything that's happening after a long year of maybe not the best information flow, right? We had some struggles over the summer, definitely learning about server meshing and a lot of the stuff we heard about towards the beginning of the year. Some of the stuff we still haven't heard about, but a lot of it we have finally in November and October. And I wanted to get a chance to hear from you, less our main sort of launch sequence kind of show stuff, but from the community, what the thoughts are. So I'm going to be bringing people in from the Discord server, and either they will show up right here with me on a camera, or it might be a black screen, or maybe I'll throw Discord in there. Who knows? We will be talking with a few different folks, though, about their opinions. If you guys, again, would like to join this, we try to host it once a month. I would suggest hop into the Discord. Just make sure you've got some notifications turned on and you're active. We try to ping people a day or hopefully a week before we host these shows so that you can get in here and join us for a good time, some conversation. Now, let's get started. Our first guest is going to be Pyman. Love a good pie. Let me unmute myself. I do like drinking tea, by the way, guys. Don't worry. It was just for dramatic effect. I love my tea. Let me pull you up, Pyman. Discord, come on, work with me. There we go. All right. Hello, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
How's it going? You on camera with me today, or just sticking to Discord?
No, I'm a bit too lazy to get presentable.
No problem. I feel that. How you doing?
Doing good. Yourself?
I'm good. It's been a long couple of weeks. We've gotten bombarded with Star Citizen news compared to normal. So I'm happy to talk about it a little bit more with people. How you feeling about it?
Oh, definitely good, yeah. This year has just been so slow, and then with I was actually at CitizenCon, so that was kind of my big info dump for the year, and now it's just kind of coming down off that high, right?
Did we run into each other?
I sat with you guys on the second day, and I got a selfie with you, and it was all over, but yeah.
Nice. Wait, what was your name? Oh, well, I guess never mind. You don't have to dox yourself.
I didn't really say anyone, but my name's Tyler, so I was sitting in the back with the
cool.
hat on. So.
Well, what'd you think of the show being there live? You said it was your first one?
Yeah, it was definitely great. I just got the impression, right, like, because I've watched all the coverage of all the older ones, and this one definitely felt more, I don't know, it's like it was fast-paced, but also more realistic, right? It wasn't all slideshows, which was nice.
Yeah, it was really cool when it would be a slideshow, and you're like, oh my god, oh please, and then they'd be like, now let me show you the gameplay.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, okay, nice. Yeah, it was a nice change. Did you what about everything that's happened since then?
I don't know. I've just been waiting for their shows to start up again, right? And then with this week, it was kind of the whole recap and back to filler stuff. But everything since then, right? I've been trying to play the PTU and stuff, but I've just been getting a lot of I think a lot of people have, but the crash to desktop stuff.
Yeah, it's been an issue.
Kind of crazy, but
so
yeah, I've been playing the live build with my friends and stuff. So
cool. And you've been doing obviously CitizenCon was good, and they showed a lot of features. How do you feel about like the bigger kinds of things, like the server meshing they've been talking about, and like the optimization they want to do?
If they can pull it off soon, right? It'd be great. I've been kind of, because I've got my friends into the game in 317, which
Mhm.
was like kind of the most recent pinnacle of stability, right?
Yeah.
So then when 318 and stuff hit, I've just been kind of preaching to them like, okay, this stuff just has to come in and then it'll be good. But it was really nice to see the demo, right? As much as in my head it was just kind of like a visual thing, right? I don't
Yeah.
get the whole, obviously it's all layman's term stuff, but
Yeah. Well, so you said you're kind of the person you got your whole friends group into the game.
yeah.
How do they feel about it?
They like it, yeah. Definitely, they try and play every now and then. One of my friends got super into it, but none of them have really spent too much. I just kind of show them around, and then we do a bunch of missions every now and then, but I mean, when stuff gets unstable, right, they kind of freak out.
Yeah.
Then I have to be there like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
Don't
See,
worry about it.
I don't try to get my friends from real life into the game because I don't like to deal with that. You know,
Yeah.
I think I tried once in 2017. I gave it a go, and I always do wonder if they ever watch this stuff and hear me talk about how I introduced them to the game. But I realized at that point, I was like, I need to wait a long time before getting them into this. And I'm glad that you did get your friends into it and you guys enjoy it. That's good because it's a lot better with friends. But man, it can be, times like 318. Your back's against the wall and you're like, hey guys, I didn't force you to play.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Because I would be playing it all the time, and then I would stream like in a Discord lobby, and they would see it, and then they kind of got themselves into it. So I can't really make it my fault, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, everybody on 318 patch day, I was there with them, and it was just like a bit of hell.
Yeah. Any big features that you're looking forward to? Anything that really is kind of you've been waiting for to play the game seriously, maybe, or to get your friends into it more often?
Pyro's Pyro, right? That's like the big feature.
Yeah.
But obviously better stability in general would make me play it probably more. I play it a decent amount, but they would definitely enjoy it more. I know so we do mostly flight sim stuff. So a lot of, especially the atmospheric flight stuff, I know that's probably a really long ways off compared to some of the other things they showed. But depending on how they do it, I know some of my friends would be super into atmospheric fighting then.
Yeah, that's really gonna, if they could start adding more atmospheric missions too, that could, people who like games like DCS who are looking for a more light experience could be playing something like this. It's kind of funny to say.
Especially because I didn't play around in the Pyro demo too much, but a lot of those planets are larger and have more atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of the moons, because Stanton is basically just the three planets besides Crusader, and then the moons, which all have low atmosphere.
Yeah. I would say that the combat, the stuff that they showed when it comes to combat updates, because you said stability, right? Would be something that would make your friends want to play more. I feel like the combat experience feels janky, partially because of stability, but also partially because of the way the features play. And the changes that they've talked about are going to help make people who do combat feel like the game is more stable.
Definitely, right? Because the AIs especially, it's super easy to figure out how they work right now, especially with the server tick rates, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, PvE fighting can get pretty boring pretty quick. And then with the whole PvP scenario with the servers, it's also just janky.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing from that kind of stuff. I don't do combat myself, but I'm glad that it feels like we're moving towards, I guess, just a more well-balanced kind of, you're not just blowing everybody up immediately kind of gameplay.
Yeah, time to kill definitely is a bit of a, because especially with the FPS guns, everything's kind of like the same, right?
Yep.
Especially with the desync. So the longer it takes, the more tactics you can get into it. I think the more, I don't want to say easy, but like approachable it gets, right?
Yeah, that's what it felt like this whole CitizenCon was about. making
Yeah.
the game more approachable. And I mean, I don't know about you, but what we saw was like the first time I feel like we looked at a game from the company. Like
Yeah,
every other
instead of a bunch
time.
of demos, right?
Yeah, and I think that was like a finished game has that approachable look to it compared to what we've been seeing. Like the last time we saw a vertical slice of this game, they literally had to just be like, "Oh yeah, we would have just scanned there." It's like they didn't even have scanning available
Yeah,
to work. So it was a breath of fresh air, I think.
yeah. Well, especially with the whole. Hang on. Yeah, especially with the whole because Squadron 42 is feature complete, right? So everything they were showing was in that whole UI, which kind of has me a little worried, right, of how long it's going to take them to port that stuff over. But like 12 months, I can live with 12 months.
Yeah, see now it's kind of renewing that question again because that's the question we were dealing with all of this year.
Yeah, yeah.
The question of, because last CitizenCon they were like, okay, so this is all that they did, the whole partner development show, and Richard Tyre and Chris Roberts sat there and talked about the things and gave us a couple of demos, and we're like, yeah, so now this is working in Squadron, we're going to port it over to Star Citizen. And it's like, okay, so now we're seeing it working in Star Citizen, right? So it shouldn't take another year for us to get it in. So I think that's renewing that question with increased fervor. How this can't take very long to get to us at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it has some slightly more credibility, right? Because especially with last year's CitizenCon, I watched that whole stream, and I was not ready for the whole, what was it, three hours at the end of them coming on. It feels a lot nicer having the devs feel like they've made their own presentations for it. It's like they're ready to show it as opposed to a promise from the head of the companies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it's better to see it working in gameplay. I mean, that's like, you've seen all the reactions from creators and people watching like the Star Engine.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of fun.
and it's like, yeah, the Star Engine, the stuff that for the most part, I would say there's a few things in there that we don't have in game or haven't had very long, but for the most part is what we've been playing in for years. And you can see that the way they presented it this time obviously convinces people it's cooler than they've thought it has been for years when it's existed. So I think overall they managed to give themselves more credibility and just more kind of a, I don't know, better presentation, I guess. It convinced people better.
It was a single spline stripped of all the jank of the PU, right? So it looks great.
There is that, yeah.
Star Citizen always looks great, especially when it's working, right? You get a fresh server and everything is fine. But if you stay on it for like 2 hours, everything starts to melt down a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and people say that a lot. That's kind of where we were earlier in the conversation, is that a lot of people would be satisfied with what we have now if it was just completely stable AAA experience. And that's why all this polish kind of UI and stuff they show this year is like, okay, all of that with the game we have would be satisfying.
Absolutely.
Well, was there anything else significant from CitizenCon, the last couple updates, or even the next update or IAE that you are looking forward to, just to finish things off?
Ships, obviously, right?
Yeah. Anything in particular?
Oh, the C1 I'm excited for because that'll be the new daily driver, right? At least in my head from flying the A1.
Yeah.
But
the C1 is good. You see a lot of people, comparing it to the Zeus, and I think a lot of people will choose the Zeus over something like the C1, but there are reasons for both ships, I think, and C1 seems like it'll be a solid bet for daily driver for a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously with 321.1 ship tractor beams, I feel like are going to be a big convenience thing to have, right? Especially with those ships.
Yeah, I didn't even think about how, like, even when you want to sort of rotate a derelict ship in space, and you'd have to have somebody fly their ship into it, but then the ship would glitch and it just goes spinning off. Now it's like, we have tractor beams now.
Yeah. And then just the last long-term thing, right? It was nice to hear them. It felt like they were talking about it super casually, right? They would just slip it in and talk about it. But the whole reputation system in Pyro, I'm super excited for that to happen, where it actually feels like you're working for somebody. But
Yeah.
I'm apprehensive to see how it's going to be when we actually get it, right?
Yeah, reputation is... It's been a painful topic because they let it sit for so long.
Yeah.
And now we're finally starting to see them use it, and like they're telling us all these things about it, but because we haven't seen that much progress on it in the past, it's kind of hard to know where it'll actually land.
Exactly, yeah.
I look forward to Reputation though. I think that's in my mind that's the main progression in the game. I don't know about you. Ships obviously you can buy with money. Weapons kind of the same. You can get them as like a subscriber. But
Yeah.
Reputation's like that one thing in game that you have to earn, and they can really use that to gate away a lot of content and ability to use things. Like even if you can buy a special ship, they could still use Reputation to be like, oh, well, you don't have the license to fly this ship in this system. People would hate that, and somebody might present a lawsuit, but it'd be interesting.
Absolutely right. Yeah. As soon, especially with they're marketing it more. They themselves are actually starting to call it an MMO now, right?
Yeah.
Instead of a whole life sim. But with the whole Reputation is that grind for Star Citizen, right? And a grind can feel good depending on what it gives you.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited for more Reputation stuff.
Same. So am I. All right, Pyman. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sure. Are you in GII?
I just applied today, actually.
Nice. Cool.
I've been in the Discord and watching your stuff for a while, but I've definitely just been a lurker.
Awesome. Well, hope to see you in some events then. You usually do combat, you said?
I do pretty much everything, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. We like to run everything, so I'll see you around.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So we actually don't have any more we don't have any more guests here. So I will be hanging out for a little while, see if anybody else wants to pop in. Or we might try and convince Drazen to get in here because he's hanging out down below. But yeah, I think what he said is how a lot of people feel about the game right now after this CitizenCon. It was a really nice bump for feelings about the game. It helped provide people with some sort of clarity on where all this development time is going. It's like, yes, you're doing all this with Squadron, but what does that mean? We can't see that. And finally, we're at least a little bit during CitizenCon, we believe that we're seeing where everything was going. Now, that's not to say that it's all been worth it, worth the delays, worth the time it's taken, worth the money. That's what comes next. But CitizenCon really did feel like a confirmation that, hey, this company hasn't necessarily put out something to prove they can make a game just yet, but here's something. And I think it's made people feel like they are on a better trajectory than people felt they were earlier. I don't necessarily think it has convinced everyone that things are okay. You know, I would hesitate to say that. We still need an actual game to play. We still need these features actually in the game. So you gotta now put up, because you've done the talk, but this talk was much better than it ever has been, and they had a lot of receipts to show what they've been doing. And I think it makes people feel a little bit more confident about where the game's going. Hasn't solved the problem. You're trying, you don't have enough cred. What is your, can you hop into any voice channel? I'll give you the role so that you can get in. And let me know when you do, because I unfortunately can't see names. Squadron 42 will calm you down for years. Tom, you'd like to join? Cool. Anybody who would like to join, you know what? Here we go. Let's just do this. Me6 has really dropped the ball. Like, this is I will be very much not not endorsing that bot anymore. Voice 3. There we go. Okay. All right, y'all. We got the Punj up in here, ready to join for a little chat. You know them well. GII represent, coming in on a lot of events and gameplay here on the stream. Now I am here to pick your brain, hear your thoughts. What do you think?
Hashtag join GII.
Hashtag join GII. GII join, everyone. What's up?
I just kind of you last said like, you know, the CitizenCon was really good for showing and not just telling, but I think they could have done with a little more telling, because as he pointed out, it's not enough to like say assuage everyone's fears that, oh, we are on the proper path now. We're in good hands. We are set for the future. It's all downhill from here. Like their silence thus far on replication layer testing. Like, we got Pyro, which is cool, but that preview channel is supposed to be for basically speed running a very critical piece of infrastructure. And they've not put that on the schedule yet, and Pyro's ending today, or has ended today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's done.
Yeah.
So that is a good point. And CitizenCon was great, but since then, replication layer is probably the elephant in the room that I don't, there's been no communication on it.
Replication layer is the trunk of the elephant as it enters the room.
I'd like that elephant to not enter the room. Maybe we could just skip the room entirely.
Possibly.
So that's kind of that's what's hanging on you right now, is just that all this stuff is good, but the process hasn't really started.
Yeah. All like, I liked that they showed and didn't just like resort to saying, hey, this is like what we're doing, this is what we want to do. I mean, there was a lot of that still. There was a lot of the like what we want to do. But like, of everything they showed, and like the list that I've been kind of passing around download, like out of 76 items plus, only 20% of them had any indication of how like that they plan to get them into our hands in a meaningful time frame.
Sure. Yeah, it's 12 months for a lot of it. I mean, they're clearly
yeah, they let themselves wiggle room to like go well over that.
Not only was it 12 months or so, but it was also I think he said definitely a lot of it will be in game. So yeah. Like they don't want to tie themselves to anything, and we all know that means things are going to slip. But like you said, it's sort of the replication layer and stuff that's really what we want to see working now.
Right, and then you have like frustratingly tantalizing bits slipping into the PTU, like that shareable 1 SCU, 2 SCU purchasable box. That's clearly in advance of the personal hangers, but it's just frustrating to have things that like would make an immediate difference in org gameplay specifically. Being able to like purchase a box and store a bunch of crap in it for sharing out.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me that they have like the whole you can sell cargo from other people thing. That was supposed to be coming soon, right? Or it's in?
That's it, I believe.
Yeah. And then now they're talking about being able to store boxes in other boxes.
That is, I have not gotten a good like bearing on what that actually was supposed to mean. I haven't really gotten a lot of response from other people who might be more informed, but as far as I can tell, I think that's just that was their way of saying, hey, here's these purchasable 1 SCU, 2 SCU boxes, because it doesn't seem to apply to anything else really.
So they're not gonna let us store boxes in boxes?
I think they will let us store boxes in boxes, but I think the item to allow for that to happen is not able to be physicalized yet.
I see. Well, I hope they give us at least the functionality since they put it on the release view.
Yeah.
But all things being said, the little things we're getting now are way bigger than the little things we got before. And I feel like, I guess we've been saying that year after year, like the quality of life fixes we were getting at the end of last year were way better than the year before. This year they're better than last year. Like, that's getting better, but is it good enough?
That just comes down to us always wanting more. I think, like, we're never going to be happy. We can see that we're on a upward trajectory. Like, you know, objectively things are getting better, but we're gonna want more, and we'll see on the roadmap, oh, there's more, and then we want that now. We don't have that now, and then we kind of get a little antsy, a little annoyed and frustrated that there's things that could make our experience better right away, but we have to wait.
Yeah.
Because we are all children.
Indeed. Star children. So how are you feeling then going into the new year? Just overall, what's your vibe?
My vibe is basically going to be a binary state. If they like put replication layer testing on the schedule, like even if it's like, oh, this is going to be like, you know, January 21st, 2024, I'll be happy that it's there, and my outlook will be way better because I'll at least be able to, if not like trust them, lie to myself and say that they're going to get that in the pipeline, get that going, and then once it's in the hands of Evo and everyone else, it should go a lot faster. And the podcast that you had with Panic Switched and Unobtainium helped a lot in forming that kind of opinion. But if like, you know, we come to the middle of December and replication layer is still not on the schedule, I'm gonna be a little angry. I'll be a lot more pessimistic.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would really hope that it's in testing by mid-December. I think like by IAE, I would really like to hear something new about it, especially considering I think we're going to get a roadmap roundup this upcoming week, right?
Yeah, should be.
So that would be a time, because yeah, this 3.22 is on the roadmap, and replication layer separation I think is tentative on there. So they're going to have to make a call on it soon. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for hopping in here.
Yeah, thank you
Telling
for
us
having
how
me.
you feel. Yeah, of course. I will. I'll see you around in the events and stuff.
Yep, see you around.
All right.
Join GII.
Join GII hashtag, or other way around, whatever. All right. Let me flip myself around here. Oh, there we go. So I realize I am actually looking at people, because next up we've got Tom. My man. Let me drag it in here. There we go. All right. I got you on camera. We're going to put you on camera 1 here. And
Hello?
you'll be joining us. Hello.
Wait, should I share my camera on Discord?
No. You're fine. You're in the right spot.
Okay. All right.
Let me see. Bear with me. I don't know how to spell your last name.
BECKHAUSER.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Now, camera, work with me. How's it going, man? How you doing?
It's going great. It's nice talking to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Me and Tom got to run into each other at CitizenCon. It was a great time. And
Unfortunately, very briefly.
yeah, it was very brief. There was a lot going on. Things were busy. There were a lot of people, and people were hyped. I had a ton of fun. How'd you like the event?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. It was my first ever CitizenCon in person, of course, just like for most people, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went there to meet people like yourself. That was like, if I just wanted to see all the Star Citizen content, you can do that from home. You know, I think that this event was so much about physically, like the energy, the vibe, and all the amazing people, creators and devs. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's definitely, I mean, you nailed it. You know, if you want to see the panels, you can watch them online, but being there in person, the excitement was tangible. It was especially, I mean, the panels themselves sounded better in person, so I'm happy I was there. But like the show floor, everything was great.
In fact, it was actually the opposite. I think I didn't even get to see some of the panels.
Yeah,
because I was so busy so busy talking to people and looking at the amazing booths and all that stuff. I actually had to download the entire Twitch VOD and rewatch it all on the plane because half the stuff I didn't even get to see there in person because I was so busy just talking to so many people there.
Same. So were there any big highlights that you took away from CitizenCon, or even over the last couple of weeks, things that have come out about the different PTUs and tech they're working on?
So in terms of Star Citizen, what I think is really exciting, because I think this is an issue that's caused a lot of new players to not want to get into the game. I was really excited that the performance issues on both client and server side were addressed. Like you mentioned earlier, I believe, obviously server meshing and Vulkan. I think those two things, because a lot of people cry about this bug and that bug. Why is this bug not fixed? Why are they not fixing that bug? And I think that the reason why a lot of these issues don't get addressed is because so many of them, maybe even most of them, are heavily performance related. So basically, by improving performance, you solve 90% of the problems.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see what they were saying about CPU performance in terms of obviously the client and both. Server meshing is absolutely revolutionary. So yeah, both those things really got me excited.
Yeah, it's as simple as like when you hand somebody an object and it falls through the floor. It's not because of that floor, it's because of the server's performance. And it's like a lot of the things that they could do to help that server performance would get rid of those problems that kind of ruin your everyday activities. Agreed.
Yeah, it's going to solve so many problems. Yeah. Even just the replication layer, if we imagine never getting a 30K again, right? That's that's game changing. Yeah, just that alone.
It's very nice. How did you feel about all this earlier in the year? It was a pretty quiet year, especially after sort of a rough 318 and PES, and a pretty optimistic letter from the chairman, I would say. How are you feeling kind of going through the summer and then leading into CitizenCon? Did you change over CitizenCon? Did it make your excitement grow? What were you feeling?
I think I'm fairly new to Star Citizen, so I think I still have this like
starry-eyed.
Yeah, I'm still very starry-eyed and some would say naive, but
well, when did you start playing?
Actually, it was January 2021 that I pledged.
Well, you've been around the block a couple times. You know what the deal is.
I mean, I'd say I have made up in being very interested in doing my research. So I would say I know a lot about the game by now, even though I've not been around for as long as most of the people that I met at CitizenCon, for example. But I always was in this for the long run. I never expected the game to stay the way it is when I started playing.
Yeah.
So I've been excited from day one. It is hard to say how what I expected and when I expected it. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know.
I think it's definitely different joining the game now versus like what you're saying, you know, people who joined, say, 2019, 2018, there was a shift in development over those couple of years in productivity. And I think that joining in the last 2 years or so would lead to somebody thinking the game is going to move faster than it's been moving. But I think it also, I think it leads to people being a little bit more patient with the game, because what we used to have was much worse. it was God, you couldn't even buy ships. I mean, it wasn't too long ago when you could not buy ships in the game. The only way to fly a different ship was to buy it with real money, and that was a big step for the game. And there are just a lot of stages like that over the last 5 years that I think led to, if you join in the last couple of years, the additions that are being added are more reasonable. An inventory system that works, actual functioning looting gameplay, medical system. These are things that you would be like, okay, that's kind of an addition to the game, I guess. But like a basic, like, I don't know, the ability to send money to somebody was something that was added before. And I think it led to people getting very annoyed with how slow things were going back then. Still now, but just not as much.
Oh, but it's shocking how many people are out there saying there's no progress at all. You know, obviously those are not the people that went to CitizenCon. Those are the people that are very uneducated in terms of Star Citizen and its development.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's shocking seeing some of the stuff.
Progress is slow, but man, yeah, some people will actually say there has not been any change. I've seen people say nothing has changed since 2013, and I'm like, but they have. And I'll list some things out, and then they change the argument to something else, and I'm like, you can't just say nothing's ever changed. That's crazy. But yeah,
I mean, when I started playing, you couldn't move cargo. You know, it's like this is a whole different game.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to kill someone, board them, and steal their stuff. That's like a whole that just opened the world up completely. And
yeah, it was a big addition.
Yeah, massive. Like, and I look back, and we enjoyed the game back in 3.17. You know, I love the game. That's why I'm still here. But now I look back, I'm like, how did we play this trash? you know, even though I loved it back then, but then it's you. There's no way someone could possibly say there's no progress, right? And I'm not even talking about the big things like persistent entity streaming that came with so many challenges, right? Unfortunately.
The progress is slow. And that's, I think, a valid criticism. It has reasons for being slow. It's not like it's just slow for the sake of being slow. But it is slow. And that's been the main holdup. So I get that that's a main criticism of it. I think there are more important criticisms, but like, there are downsides and upsides to how they're building Star Citizen. One of the upsides is that they can continuously make this game and people can play it and it gets more money and it's great. One of the downsides is that it means that the development goes really slowly. And, you know, I think people get a little hyperbolic when they talk about that, but it is something that I think is good to acknowledge. These things have taken a long time to come, and much longer than they told us they would.
What I think was great about this particular CitizenCon, and I think you touched on this earlier. I think for the first time, the CitizenCon was. I could show. I loved the intro, right? The demo, mm-hmm. The Star Engine demo. For the first time, this was something you could show someone that has no idea about Star Citizen, and it would immediately be attractive. Like, if before, I think it was very technical and directed at people that already follow Star Citizen, but I feel like this CitizenCon for the first time was directed at everybody.
They improved their communication skills considerably. Yeah, I wonder if they hired someone to help with that, because the presentation at this one is leaps and bounds better than the other ones.
Oh, the Star Engine demo! I think I've seen it like 10 times.
It's a very good watch.
It's so good. It's so good.
Are there any big things that you have seen or focused on over the last couple weeks to finish things off that you're looking forward to next year, maybe over the next 12 months, things that they've talked about that you think are going to really change the game for yourself, specifically your gameplay, or you and the people you play with?
I mean, I obviously want to be able to travel back and forth between systems. I think everybody does. That might be the big obvious one. I think what I'm looking forward to most is more multi-crew gameplay, and I think the engineering panel they showed was mind-blowing. That was so amazing that finally there's something for people to do on your ship other than being a gunner, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that it's going to be at least a little skill based as well. You know, that it's not just going to be like, oh, this thing's on fire, press that button over there and the problem's solved. You know?
Yeah.
So I think this is where it really becomes interesting for anything other than a single seater, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been waiting for. Big ships are kind of just larger, small ships up until now.
Yes. And obviously, there is a lot of big ships that I really like, especially the Banu Merchantman. But honestly, I never had my hopes up for the Banu Merchantman coming soon, and I still don't have my hopes up for the Banu Merchantman coming anytime soon. So, yeah, while I want it as soon as possible, I know it's a very unique ship and very complex ship, and it has a lot of things that they can't just carry over from other human ships, of course, right? So I understand that it's going to take more time, and I think it deserves more time.
Yeah.
And effort, because, you know, it is a very special ship.
The later they make your ship, the better, unfortunately.
I've actually never heard that one. That's a good one.
As a Terrapin owner, yeah. It's they get much, I mean, you can just see it every year. They make ships and they add different little things into each one that will be added to gold standards of older ships, but if your ship comes in later, the gameplay is going to be better. It's more enjoyable. There's a sweet spot.
What I think is weird, they said they're not going to release any more ships without gameplay, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Banu Merchantman is supposed to have a very, very unique gameplay aspect, and I think no one really, except maybe some of the devs, have any idea how that's supposed to look like. But then I don't get why they released the Scout. You know, they said no more ships without gameplay, and then they brought us a Scout, which I thought was kind of strange, but I mean, yeah.
You like how they gave us a whole bunch of concepts about how exploration gameplay would work? That was it was my least favorite part of CitizenCon. I love hearing about their ideas for scanning and exploration, but the idea of dropping an exploration gameplay and then giving us a couple slides about the concept of exploration after, like you said, we're not supposed to be getting them without gameplay was weird.
Yeah, because the scanning looks amazing. It looks great. I want scanning, especially, you know, I like combat, you know, and I like PvP. And I think at the moment it's obviously very easy, or quite easy, to be very elusive in terms of PvP. And I think scanning is going to be huge for bounty hunting. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're able to scan and see like anywhere within, I don't know what they said, like a 50,000 kilometer radius, that's gonna make everything so much more interesting.
Yeah,
especially for bounty hunting. Yeah,
and quantum boosting.
Yes. Oh, finally.
Yeah.
How often have you had to like triangulate your QT markers to get closer to a location on a planet? Like it's so annoying.
It's going to be great. That's actually how the game used to work a while ago too. You could just quantum travel where you wanted. Yeah.
I had no idea.
The actual whole master modes thing is very similar to how the game used to work a while back. So, you know, they're iterating. They're finding it out, but it's back and forth.
Wow. That's I didn't know that. That's interesting. I thought it was always just QT markers because that's just, it seems to me like the easier way to do it.
It was like that for a long time, but like 6, 7 years ago, you would be able to just activate your quantum drive, and some people would just see how far they could quantum drive out into space.
Oh wow! And you just go straight?
Yeah.
Okay. So you could just aim anywhere and just go.
Yep. And it was and people really missed having that. And getting back into that. But now that it's coming back, that's why, like, when he said that, you go back to what's it called? The flight panel in Star Citizen and CitizenCon. And if you look at the part where they are quantum traveling, he's doing the quantum boost randomly. It's at 24 minutes and 30 seconds, and everybody starts clapping because he's like, yeah, you guys can quantum travel wherever you want. And that was like, people have been waiting 6 years for that to come back, and they're finally dropping it back in. But that's how they work. People are like, oh, they dropped this feature, they dropped that feature, and most of the time they haven't. They just put it on the back burner and put it on a shelf until it gets priority again. It comes up 5 years later, and it's annoying, but, you know, never assume a feature is actually gone until they say it's gone.
Wow. Actually, I have one last thing.
Sure.
That I'm really excited about. If I could still take your time.
Yeah.
Something that I've been missing in Star Citizen for probably since I started playing is character development in any shape or form. And I think you also mentioned this earlier, reputation.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can buy ships, you can buy armor sets and everything. But there's nothing that really stays with you, or something that sets you apart from another player. You know, something that you've earned. And I think reputation is the first step into making your character, having earned something that maybe others haven't. And I think they also mentioned things like unlocking unique locations, unlocking blueprints. Even a few inside Star Citizens back, going to the gym, earning, like, improving skills like sneaking and strength and stamina, whatever. Anything like that just develops your character in any way.
Yeah.
Whether it's reputation or actual attributes, whether it's, as long as it's not too broken, of course. Just small passive things. I'm all for that. I think that's so amazing because I don't know if any of you have ever played World of Warcraft or any other big MMORPGs. There's a lot of things like that you can unlock and work towards that I think Star Citizen is lacking.
Well, that's one of the things that they talked about that I think caught people by surprise a little bit, was like armor progression and being able to like earn different types of armor. And we've seen in the past with different skins and exclusives and items, they have started to talk more about like, yeah, you're gonna have this item, you earned it, you keep it, and then there's the whole like persistence and one of a kind of all items that if you lose it, or if someone steals it, or if you steal it from someone, that's it, it's yours, it's theirs, nobody else has it. And nobody cares about anything because we're in alpha and everything resets and disappears and stuff, right? But like you're saying, at some point we're gonna care about everything. That crappy pistol that you have is like your special pistol, you know? It's a pistol you've had for 6 months and you keep fixing it and it does not break or get lost. And like, if you lose it, it's gonna suck. And at some point, people are actually not gonna want to lose that, and that's when the game gets real.
Yeah.
Just can't wait for that.
All right, I think I'm gonna give other people a chance to talk because I could keep going for another 3 hours, man.
I appreciate you joining. Thanks for hopping on and talking about the game. I'm glad you got enthusiasm about it. CitizenCon was a good show. I hope that they can continue with this and get the stuff they want to test into the game.
Same.
Thanks again. I will catch you around, Tom.
07, guys. Thanks.
See you later. All right, y'all. We've got another guest here, Marcus. Let me get him loaded in. So, a couple thanks. I see subs in chat. Thank you so much for the people who are throwing in support for the podcast. Thank you. Jay Barandon, with the 2-month sub on Prime, and Pyman actually gifting out a couple community subs. Thanks for coming on and entertaining people and then rewarding them for that entertainment. Much appreciated. So, good talk with Tom. I think everybody has kind of been on the same page here from what we've been seeing. The things they've shown are good. And for the first time, I think that's, I mean, I have always been a fan of their ideas and their design and their goals, right? The gameplay itself has been good, but it hasn't been top quality. And I think this is the first time for me, and I feel like what I'm getting from other people is that finally it is. So now that they've proven that they know what top quality looks like, because even if this is all fake and they've just kind of done a bunch of marketing videos, now is everyone's waiting to see if they'll produce it. And I mean, I think a lot of people are expecting that over the next year. Let me bring in Marcus here and we'll chat a little bit more about it. I'm gonna send you an invite to speak. There you go. You gotta accept that and then that'll pull you in. There we are. Cool. All right, I got you on camera here. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I am good. Welcome.
I think we're looking the opposite way.
Uh-oh. You're looking up real quick. My bad. There we go. All right, man. Cool.
How's it going, man? It's good to see you.
Good. Good to see you, dude. Good to talk to you. I just watched a couple of your videos last week, one of them about the C1 and the Zeus. And I figured that was something.
A very, very polarizing video.
Oh, yeah? People coming at you with the opinions on that, huh?
Yeah, but I love it. And that's the reason I made the video, because the first thing about the C1 is, especially how it arrived in the PTU, like it kind of upset me with it being so easy to kill. And I want CIG to fix it. So if enough people can see the video and talk about it, we can get the ships where they need to be. Because two-shotting a C1 with an Origin 315P is just not how that ship should operate. Even if it's supposed to be a little bit weaker than a Cutlass Black, it still shouldn't be that easy to kill.
Is it supposed to be weaker than a Cutlass Black?
I think so.
Huh. Man, that'd be weird. Well, yeah. Do you think that part of that comes from the fact that it's just not on the new component structure? Have they?
It could be.
There hasn't been a Q&A yet for the Spirit series, right?
I don't think so.
Or I guess they must have done one after.
Or they did a lot. Yeah, probably did one like a long time ago, like last year when it was announced.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of complicated because of the whole component balance thing, but I agree with you. Like, it needs to sit in a certain spot considering the ship it is. What do you think though of, like, do you think it can overcome the cargo discrepancy compared to the Zeus, considering even though the Zeus is kind of a bigger cruise ship?
Yeah, I think it can. And my only real point was, like, if they don't change the size of the Zeus the length, I still think the Zeus is a better buy if you are looking to run that intermediate style cargo. But I do think it could overcome it. It's going to have a higher top speed. It's going to fly better in Atmo. You're going to be able to get away from pirates a little bit easier. It's going to be faster, especially when things like Master Modes comes out. It's going to be faster. It's going to be a good ship to use, but they do need to make sure the ship isn't so easy to kill. That's my biggest issue with the Zeus. Not the Zeus, but the C1.
Okay. How about the other things we gotten to see over the last couple weeks with CitizenCon and everything? How are you feeling about it all?
So I got one that's even before CitizenCon came out, was the database issue that we were having with Cloud Imperium Games, and them trying to really get that sorted out. Because I think that is like the underlying thing that's going to make all of this work. If you don't have a good database, your game's just going to suck forever. And them really trying to get around that database and really letting us know what happened with the company and their tech not working, and them really trying to sort that out. I think that is probably the biggest move that they're making behind the scenes. And I was really happy that they let us know that they're actively trying to fix their database to make the game more stable.
Do you think they could have let us know earlier? Because that was our first communication on PES since, I think, probably May or April. Do you think in that time there was something else they could have said, or?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But they came out and said it, so that pleased me. And I know that with these companies and buying tech and doing things like this, because like I was in the military for so long, and when you contract things out to other places, they get so many opportunities to fix something, and then there's like a lot of legal stuff that's behind that stuff too. So it's a little bit more complex than we see it on the surface, because they do have to give those companies the opportunity to fix their tech and to make sure that it works. And we don't know like how long the contract's supposed to be and things like that. But they could have came out and been open with us right away. That would have been fine.
Mhm.
Also, I'm okay with them updating us in the manner that they did. Like I still think that it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely the fact that we got communication on it was good, and that it came at that time with another update regarding replication layer stuff and server meshing so closely on the heels of that was nice. It would have been hard to hear that in July and then go 2 more months without anything really changing, and then CitizenCon. So the timing works a little bit better too. But man, that was a rough summer.
It was a rough summer, and we did see a lot of creators quit Star Citizen. I didn't quit, but I did take a break for a long time, just because I just kind of felt there wasn't really much happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, how many times can I get on and stream Star Citizen and talk about the same things and do the same 5 missions over and over again, go do the same PvP style. Them releasing the Lightning was a good thing to get some hype going. The golden tickets, I know there was a lot of drama with that, but it was enough to get the community talking again and get them back on the upward trajectory that we need them to be on to develop this game.
Yeah, and the upward trajectory has been, I mean, I know this community, but it's still been surprising since CitizenCon, because it hasn't stopped. Have you been feeling better after the event than before?
Yeah, I'm much better after the event. I'm still mildly optimistic, because none of the things that we've seen in CitizenCon are currently in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things, like, we have to get in our hands to see how it's going to function in the persistent universe. One of the things I'm most excited about, though, is when they said they're going to be bringing that engineering gameplay to the PTU. Or not PTU, but master modes.
Yeah,
master mode, not master
Arena
mode.
Commander.
Yeah, Arena Commander, that's what it is. Yeah, they're going to be bringing that in soon, so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like, because I think the demo really didn't show like a whole lot of the nuance that could be shown with that, meaning like the ship pulling G's and turning. Are your players going to be more susceptible to falling over while you're being shot at? And one of the things that I hope with the engineering gameplay, especially like fixing the tools or fixing the components, is kind of like the mining, how you kind of have to keep it like within a certain zone.
Yeah.
You could like overcharge a component and break it. So I hope we get a little bit of that gameplay with the engineering stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of nuance missed, and you kind of see from the reactions of people saying like, "Oh, this is going to be way too much," and not realizing that they turned up the damage being taken by the Gladius. They turned off the shields. Like, all of it is exaggerated, and people don't realize that this is something that's going to take place over the course of maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or a couple hours of play. And then there's also like the tuning. They talk about overclocking and startup sequences and all this stuff. There's a lot of engineering they didn't necessarily show, so I am interested in seeing how that shows up in Arena Commander. Yeah,
and one of the things I'm most excited about is the bigger ships being a little bit not easier, but harder to kill.
Mm-hmm.
I think this right now, it's just like you can pretty much dominate, a bigger ship with a light fighter or a group of light fighters. And the bigger ship, even with gunners, has no chance. Like my favorite ship in the game is the A2, and I would like to, be able to kind of fight back a little bit. I don't think I should be able to one shot like a light fighter or anything like that. But if they come within range of like my turret, I think they should be like hurting for sure. And I'm most excited for that kind of gameplay.
That's why I can't wait for armor, because we talk about how, like, oh yeah, these small ships shouldn't take on the large ships, but like the way they've talked about armor, a small size 1 or size 2 ballistic repeater, those bullets might just bounce off of a javelin's armor, right? They wouldn't do the same damage as like a size 5 repeater, because that's meant for capital ship armor. And I feel like it's just one of those many things that they want to do to make sure that it's different to be in a big ship versus a small ship.
Oh, most certainly. Another thing that I was excited about from CitizenCon was the sound.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of the sound in Star Citizen. I much prefer to have like that realistic audio to make it feel a little bit more eerie, a little bit more creepy, a little bit more real, a little bit because like I don't want to be able to hear like all of my weapons in zero G, and I don't think it should be like that. And yeah, I was really excited for the sound stuff.
Yeah. They've kind of it's just another one of those features that like they've talked about and you don't know if they're going to put it in, but I really like the idea of, I hope they go with, you can have first, it can be an option if you want your ship to like simulate the sound, but then if you take too much damage it gets rid of the sound and you're just having that realistic sound feedback. That would be a cool option to have. I think people playing Squadron 42 would definitely enjoy that for like the cinematic effect.
Oh yeah, I would even enjoy that in the PU. You know, I know most people won't do it because
Yeah.
you know they want to have like any advantage they can in in a PvP scenario, but I would still go for it just because it just adds to the immersion, and that's what this game's all about. Is
Yeah.
the immersion.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do with it in the PU. And of course it'll be an option. I mean, they showed it to us in the context of the PU, but I'm wondering if it'll be forced at any points.
I hope that it is. You know, as I think you know we're going to be in a transition point for a little bit, but I do hope in the future that it's like you know realistic sound is the way to go. Another
Yeah.
thing that I was looking forward to from CitizenCon is the character customization. I know a lot of people that didn't know, especially when I heard it live when I was watching it here from my house. A lot of people they want to kind of like move on from that,
Mhm.
but you know. Playing video games as long as I played video games and you know come with the hairstyles and all that, we've only had like a couple of hairstyles that we can use. It's like you either get a mohawk, you either get a buzz cut. There's just like very little hairstyles that we can actually use. So I think the character customization was pretty cool to see, and how they're doing like all the hair textures, and given how like you know not just to crap on Starfield, but given how Starfield's hair textures look and seeing how CIG put so much effort into hairstyles, that made me very, very happy to see.
Yeah, and it looks so much better. I mean, the character
Yeah.
customizer we've had, it functionally it can get the job done. You can make some pretty good looking characters out of it. But this new one, I mean, like a lot of the other things we saw, looks game ready. And I guess
Yeah,
it is
it does.
Squadron 42's, but it's nice.
It's very nice. And didn't they say that some of that stuff was going to be coming to the PU very, very soon?
Well, they did say the hairstyles would. So I'm guessing we'll just get new hair with the old character customizer for now. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get the actual character customizer into the PU, but I hope it's not too long because this looks way better.
And also, when they came out after and they said, I saw this on Spectrum, they said that you're actually going to be able to save that.
Mhm.
So you don't have to like keep making a character over and over again. So think about, you know, I have EPTU, PTU, tech preview, live server, and being able to have make one character for like all of those is going to be nice.
Yeah. And also, some people, just myself included, kind of suck at this. So like, it's nice to maybe you know someone who's really good at making a character, and you can tell them what you want, and they can make the model, and then just send you the little thing, and you can tweak anything that you'd like to, or just grab that. It's nice to be able to like play as a character that you couldn't make yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be very good. Another thing that I wanted to see more of from CitizenCon, which we didn't get to see, I wanted them to show more ships using master modes. We're still stuck on the Gladius, and I guess that's fine for now. But I just wanted to know that they were working on making sure all the other ships were balanced for master modes, and we didn't get to see that, and I thought that was a little bit unfortunate. I don't know what you
Yeah.
think about that, but especially with it being such a big part of the future of the game, or even going back to how you said earlier, that's how the game kind of used to be. I just want to know that some of these other ships, they have it and it's working, because when master modes first came into the PTU servers, it arrived broken. Like the targeting system didn't work.
Mhm.
Some of the guns sometimes wouldn't work. So I wanted to see more of that, to make sure that this major step that they're taking towards the combat in this game is working across multiple different style of ships. Like they didn't have to necessarily like a different light fighter, but maybe show the Hercules using master modes, or
Yeah.
maybe like a two-seater fighter using master modes. Just
Yeah,
so
I
like you
think
know, like working across multiple different styles of ships.
I would agree with that 100%. We've basically only seen the Gladius, and it's because they built the Gladius for Squadron, and that's really the only place Master Modes is working. But that might just kind of show how much work they still have to do on Master Modes, bringing it together. The fact that they have no other ship to show it to us on, because like they straight up they went and they took the A2 and they made it ready for engineering specifically for the CitizenCon demonstration. So they could have done the same thing with another ship for Master Modes. They could have gone into talking a little bit more or explaining a little bit more how this would impact cargo haulers, a subject that's been big over the last year. They might not even have the answers for that yet. And maybe that's why they just aren't choosing to do that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we get master modes into the game soon, because one of the things that we all know, that we all see because we all play the game, is players getting shot outside of Lagrange point stations. Even the space stations that are next to planets, like you can sit next to someone's hangar, and as soon as they come out, you can start unloading on them because it's a soft armistice. So I think that's something that's going to have to be balanced, because in my mind, and I was talking to this about with my chat, if you come out of your hangar not in SEM mode, at least initially, you might be in trouble, because we all know that people do these things, and it's a part of the game, whether we agree with it or not. You know, it's a part of the game, and I think that we need to kind of get that balanced out before it becomes like a real big problem.
Yeah,
because I can already see the Spectrum forums lighting up, like I was in nav mode and I came out and someone just shot me down instantly, or they came out with distortions and disabled my ship, and you know, it's going to create a lot of problems. I think
there's going to need to be a lot of subtle but kind of in your face systems to make sure this game works, because even like our social spaces are combat spaces, our travel spaces are combat spaces, our everything is a combat space if you want it to be. And they're gonna have to be, I think they're gonna have to make it so that players have to put in effort to be combat ready, you know? Like master mode should start everyone in navigation mode, and it should be very clear to everyone when somebody switches in SCM, right? Those kinds of things, I think, you know, there's other stuff, but it's those kinds of little things I think they're going to have to double down on to make sure that, like, when somebody comes into the game, like you're saying, a new player, it's both intuitive and it makes sense, but also they're not just getting destroyed immediately because they don't know what's going on.
Because even when I first started playing the game, I remember I had my little Avenger Titan, and I came out of, I was on, I think, Port Trestle, the old one, and I got into my ship, and I didn't know what was happening, but in like 3 seconds, I was dead because somebody would just flew by and they shot me, and I was just like, well, I guess that's how this game works. So,
right. Well, and that's also a problem, is like the game doesn't play how it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's where the whole Pyro debate's coming from. What do you think of how Pyro has been received so far?
I like it. I know there's the issue with Patch City with the Armistice Zone not working where the habs are. I've seen people go into other people's habs and shoot them in bed. I don't like that. I don't think you have any business in anybody else's hab, like doing anything like that. I think that's kind of weird. If the Armistice Zones are broken, it's just like one of those things, like just be ready. One of the things that I was doing was I wasn't taking anything with me. I would just go to the elevators naked, you know, or and when I did find the guy that was killing people, what I did was I waited for somebody else to go by and start shooting at him, and then I went and killed the guy that was spawn camping the elevators. So like I don't get so how can I put it? I don't get scared away by PvP. I'm not gonna get into the chat and start calling someone a griefer because they shot me in an Armistice Zone, and you know, whether it's intended or unintended, I'm just gonna go get my lick back. That's just how I am. Mm-hmm. I come from the Modern Warfare 2 days, so I'm used to, you know, people being a little bit toxic like that and spawn camping and doing those kind of things. And there's a way to deal with them, and the way to deal with them is go go kill him. Go punch a bully in the face.
Yeah.
That's just kind of my mentality. But if they can fix the armistice zone at Patch City, I think Patch City is a better location to spawn, because I feel like it's less taxing on your PC, and that's kind of why I was using it, because Obituary and Checkmate, my computer just was like, no, we don't like this place.
I haven't actually spawned at any of those places.
Yeah, Obituary is kind of nice because it's right next to Bloom, so it's easier to get like right from a place or from a station to a planet. It's more like being at like Everest Harbor or Port Tressler or Seraphim, because it's just right there.
Yeah.
So I like Pyro, and I think that ground vehicles are going to be more prevalent in Pyro coming up in the future, just because of kind of how it is, and there's no comm satellites. So if you're trying to do an outpost mission and somebody's coming in shooting ships, you can just be out there with a ballista shooting them down. I think the Tumbler Storm is going to be essential for Pyro doing the outpost missions. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of the Pyro playground, and hopefully they open up more of the planets, because one of the things that I kind of noticed was a lot of the missions overlap. So if you're doing like an outpost mission, like someone else is going to spawn like a different mission in the same location.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really give you a chance to really kind of explore those areas after you get done with the mission. It's like you do a mission and then you finish, and then like 2 seconds later, there's more NPC spawning in. And I also think Pyro is one of those places where you need a friend. You need a friend to play, because doing Pyro alone is going to be rough. Even the way that the NPC bounty missions are spawning, the way that the outpost missions are spawning, it's just going to be more difficult to do these things without help.
Yeah.
And I think that's intentional by CIG.
Yeah. And that's, I think people need to understand that. This actually, I want to have a much longer talk on this, but like the idea of Pyro is different from Stanton. Like fundamentally, the idea of getting into Pyro is meant to facilitate different gameplay. I think people are really missing that. Obviously we're at this stage where everyone just wants to go in and enjoy it, but we're also at the stage where the game can't support the game. Stanton doesn't even work how it's supposed to. So nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to be exactly how you want it to be. And so going to a place like Pyro, you're going to need other people with you.
Yeah, because like even like me, like most of my friends that I play with, they didn't have access to the tech preview. So I was finding soloing Pyro to be much more difficult. It was very, very hard to be there as a solo player, and also not having access to like all of my ships. So that made Pyro much more difficult. And I was like, this is different. Even doing a box mission, it was like you were like on edge, or I was on edge, because I didn't know if there was another player was going to come with a group, and you don't see name tags. So it's like even if there's a players that in Pyro, and maybe they wouldn't kill you if they saw you, but even like not having a name tag, not knowing who that guy is, it's one of those things where you have to expect it's going to be on site at any place that you go to.
Yeah. It's like going to Jumptown everywhere you go.
Yeah,
you got to be ready for it. Yeah.
It's Jumptown 24/7.
That's part of Star Citizen. Nothing is quite how it should be.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Right.
I would say like the last thing from CitizenCon that really impressed me was the change to the FPS and the scopes, because the scopes in this game are terrible. They are terrible.
Yeah, your whole view gets zoomed in when you look down at them.
Yeah, it's so bad. I was very excited. I was like, finally, if they can get the FPS in the game and we can fix a lot of the desyncing issues, I think the FPS gameplay is going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From the reloading and the guns themselves, the sights being better, the sounds being better, it's a lot of like quality and polish that's going to make just playing a lot of the things you have to do in this game a lot better.
Yeah, but that's all I got. So
all right, man, thank you, Marcus. Thanks for joining me, dude.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you around. We'll be in touch
for sure, man.
Have a good one. Folks, make sure to check out Marcus's content on YouTube, and also Tom was a streamer as well. Check him out on Twitch. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Yeah. All right, y'all. I think we've got we've finished things up. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and checking out this episode of the Greenhouse Podcast. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call a little bit of an audible, because I might actually have another podcast ready to line up here, not too far down the line. Maybe YouTube is some kind of way, right? I wish I could just cut this stream and turn it into 2 different videos. So the launch sequence podcast this week is actually going to be about what we were just talking about. Oh yeah, and thank you everybody for showing up at the Greenhouse. Again, if you want to join us, please come get on the Discord, get a little bit active, keep an eye on the server announcements. We try to do this once a month, and eventually I will have a better overlay that is just for this and not for launch sequence. This is not launch sequence, even though the words are behind us. Launch sequence today, though, I got plans. We're going to be talking about Pyro. It's been a big conversation over the last couple of weeks. Pyro is contentious for different types of players, and I think that is partially because Star Citizen is a game in development, and partially because CIG doesn't come out and just say how things are supposed to go in this game. They kind of just drop things into the game and watch. So I'm gonna have Void Dude on, a content creator that you guys probably know, does YouTube channel stuff, does some streaming, a lot of pirate and less illegal gameplay. And we're going to have a discussion about the views behind Pyro, what people think of them, or what people think of Pyro, and what CIG has kind of messaged to us it's supposed to be like. Because there's a lot more stuff that's going to be coming to the game that makes Pyro a better reality than it is right now. Let me end this here. Applied to join GII. Welcome. Gonna be happy to have you with me. Now, like I said, I'm glitching around because what happens if I do this? Hey. All right, that kind of works. Can I move? Oh, nope, that doesn't work. So it's glitching a little bit right now because it's remuxing the video I just recorded. Let me go ahead and stop that. We can do that later. Let me see. Does that? No, that doesn't work, does it? Try to see if I can change the size of my camera, but it doesn't really work how I want it to. Because what I want to do here is, while we're waiting for, I guess I'll just be like this. While we are waiting for our guest for the podcast, we could go ahead and check out the most recent Star Citizen Live. Talking about UI, which is good stuff. We like UI. There's always something new and interesting to learn about UI. So I thought you guys could join me. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music off, so you don't have to deal with that. CIG really don't hide things, though. People just choose willful ignorance. I mean, CIG doesn't explain things. Like, there's no rule set for things. There's no... CIG has not come out and said, this is how things are supposed to work in Stanton, and you have to do this. They didn't really do the same for Pyro. Don't think they'll do the same for Terra. And when they release things like little gameplay additions into the game, they'll give us the patch notes on how it works, but they don't really lay out applications of it. They talk about it in this video. Talk about what? The UI? Really want to see a radical change on development. We as backers stop buying ships at all. At this point, 600 million should be more than enough to make a game. I do not want to see a radical change in development. So I would not like that. I like the development. I like that they're building something and I'm getting to see and be a part of it. And I don't like that it takes a long time, but I see that as a pain of business. I've waited a long time for a lot of things, and I've been disappointed by a lot of things to only then be pleased by them. That's how some things go. Isn't it what we want, emergent gameplay? I'm not saying it's wrong that they don't do that. I think it's great that they drop things in and let us experiment with them. I'm just explaining that's how things work. So that's how people will have to approach the game, with that sort of understanding. People need to stop equating 600 million to 600 in the bank. Yo, somebody actually said that. I saw somebody say, non-ironically, actually say that they thought that CIG had $600 million in profit. I'm like, did even just a little bit, just a couple seconds of thought. That would be insane. That'd be nuts. Of course they would keep doing this if they had 600 million in profit. Woo! A lot of development items are in the air until server meshing is implemented fully, which has been very annoying. So glad that server meshing is coming around and we don't have to be held behind that wall anymore. Oh, looks like Voidy Dude is ready right now. So we'll be starting the launch sequence podcast here in a little bit. And for anybody who is a supporter, I would suggest coming and joining us on Discord to watch this launch sequence, because what we usually do is we'll end the podcast and then I will be joined by the guest to just kind of have a chat afterward, you know, casual chat after the podcast to talk about stuff. Sometimes guests, people, supporters like to throw in some questions. There you go here. Sometimes people like to throw in some questions, and we get the chance to answer them with the guest. So if you are a supporter on Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, or Ko-fi, I would jump into the Discord and join us there. But we'll be live here. Don't worry. We still here. Let me grab his camera here. This is going to be a little bit of a setup process. Hope you guys don't mind. Also might grab another cup of tea. Y'all have tea? You got your morning drinks with you? Or your evening drinks? I don't know what time it is there. What time is it where you are? You probably want to be watching something other than this black screen here. Let's throw some engineering on in the background. That's always a good time. What channel should you go to on Discord? You'll see me at the very bottom. It's called Podcast Room. If you're a supporter, you should have visibility of it. All the way at the bottom. The journey just got extended by next year. History repeats itself every year at CIG. I could really dump into my story about the company I used to work at and how they had a product that got delayed and how we didn't have people constantly complaining about it, even though everyone knew it got delayed and we were all annoyed with it. But it takes too long. So I'll just say this. The journey can continue to get extended. That's part of developing technology that's not already existent, and it sucks. But the idea of saying, hey, it's harder than they thought it would be, so let's cut all their funding. I don't think that would come from any person who's actually a fan of space. Because why would you prefer to cut funding from a company that's building a space dream that you enjoy for the sake of what? Just sticking it to them? Like, I understand not putting in money because you don't agree with it anymore. But to encourage other people to not put in money for your sake is a strange call. I don't think that you should fund something just because it exists and you like it per se. But they're not showing no progress. The answer, in my opinion, of fixing funding is not to cut funding. It's to fix where the funding is going. If you have problems with where the funding is going, that's different. I love to talk about that, but we can't tell people to just stop paying money to something that is clearly offering thousands upon thousands of satisfaction to their customers. You think it's great with the 600 million? If you think about it, what company has made both a AAA single player game and an MMO with a 600 million budget from scratch? There are two completely different things, and if you think about it in that way, then it's 300, 5 years on each. I mean, they've made mistakes, but yeah, they've built studios and a company and a game engine and 2 games from scratch with 600 million. It's taken a much longer time and more money than they said it would. That you can always fault them for. They have blown well past the original idea of what this was going to be. That makes sense to me, but it's not like what they've developed after blowing past that is false. Like, they're still going after that goal. It's still being made. What's my background? Well, this is my work, but before this, I was an engineer. It is perfectly fine to share dissatisfaction. But like Coldy Noity, I go live on this every day. I do this stream every day, besides Sunday. Almost every day of the year. And we have a lot of different times where we talk about development. And most of those times, the conversation is good. It's more so when it starts to leak into other conversations that it's like, well, we don't need to always include our dissatisfaction. We can talk about dissatisfaction at one point and then talk about the other things at another point and not try and draw not draw links between each point, you know? Mechanical engineering. I could not do software. I tried to do coding, guys. That's not for me. Give me some wood. I will hammer away at it. I'll work on some wood, but the software engineering is rough. How long have I been following the development? I started following sporadically in 2014. And then I started following it more regularly 2017. Right before 3.0 came out. Nah, not electrical engineering either. See, you guys keep trying to get me with those circuits, man. I tried circuits class. I wasn't down for it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into this podcast with Voidy Dude. Again, feel free to join us on Discord. Let me see if he's in here. Hello.
Mr. Tomato.
Ah, Mr. Voidy Dude. How are you doing?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Let me see if I can get you in here.
Cool.
How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. And yourself, man?
Busy, dude. It's been busy. I'm guessing you've been a bit busy as well.
Oh, not busy with the things I want to be busy with, to be honest.
Not as many videos as you like?
You know, I'm not full time, and that's kind of like the goal at the moment, is to transition into full time content creation for Starters and maybe some other stuff. But it's taking its time, and life gets busy, work gets busy, and that
Indeed.
It is what it is, right? What can you do? Yeah, exactly.
Well, we appreciate your vids whenever you have the chance to put them out. I haven't gotten to see your latest, but I've heard about it, and the people sound excited.
It might be rather apt for today's topics.
Okay, good. I like that. Is it Voidu with 1D or 2? I think it's
1D.
Yeah. I always get that wrong.
No stress. My I'm so inconsistent. It's terrible. Voidyvids, but the name's Void Dude. Like I set up everything wrong from the start.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Just
Yeah.
don't worry. They'll get it. It's when the links are changed that's the problem.
Yeah.
That was causing a bit to the panic, so I even got distracted in this moment.
Let me slide you over there.
We managed
Oh, cool.
to have the
Actually, no.
survive.
Let me slide you over that way,
Noticed,
since you're going to be looking that way.
The power plant also starts to take damage.
Here we go.
And at this moment, I'm
All right.
Pete and Simon.
Let me turn off this music real quick. All right, guys, how are we doing? I'm not going to have the chance to do a full sound check here, so I'm going to ask all of you in chat. Please let me know. Is the sound okay? How's Void sounding? Is his beautiful voice coming through clearly?
Hi, chat. Is there a way I can see us? Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
yes,
tired.
there is. I'm sorry, I missed you on that one. That's my fault. There we go. Should be live for you.
Hooray.
Cool. And anybody, all supporters, you guys who are in chat, you can watch on the stream there as well. All right. So, for anybody who is just getting in here and wondering what the heck is going on, because obviously we're not, this is not the, this isn't what the thumbnail on YouTube says we're doing anymore. It was a community podcast about people's thoughts on Star Citizen at the moment, but now we have brought in Void Dude, community saboteur, and pirate to talk a little bit about Pyro, how it plays. It's been a big debate, and oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Void Dude is a little too loud. Gotcha. Thank you. No
I
matter.
apologize.
Mrs. Tomato will make all sounds perfect. All right. Y'all ready?
Sorry, my aspect ratio on the Discord view, it's like a mobile device. I'm not too sure why I can't see you properly.
Wait a second.
I'm so sorry.
Let me see. Oh yeah, look at that. What is going on there? Change those. What? What's happening? Why is it doing that?
Weird things that happen when things are live. Scary, weird technological things. That's no biggie. I can survive like this.
But that doesn't
But it's
even
all cool.
make sense.
It might be a Discord thing, hey? I've got no idea.
It says that I'm streaming at 1080p, so it doesn't make sense that it's not 1080p. I've never seen Discord do that before.
It's so weird. Sorry.
I don't even have words. This is strange. Has anybody seen this before? Hold on, let me pop this out. Let me show chat. How do I pop? How do I pop it out? Dang it. There we go. Oh, it popped it out above the screen, so I can't see. All right. If anybody has a... Nope, sorry, I can't even...
If you
it
if
keeps
you stop
popping the
streaming and
window off my
restream,
desktop. Yeah, let me try and stop this stream.
like when in doubt, turn it off and on again, right?
Yeah. This is weird. Could it be because of... No? All right. How about... Let me try this. I'm going to try and stream my whole desktop to you guys.
Yeah, it's probably a weird OBS thing.
See if that works. Okay. I guess that's what's going to have to happen. Really weird.
That's glorious. I can see you. How's it going, man?
All right, guys. We're good. We're in. Cool. So chat's not going to be on the stream for this one. You guys are going to be off to the side, so we can't really... You won't be on the podcast, but we can see what you're saying, and we'll probably take some of your questions and answer them off after the fact. But Void, if you look above where we are in Discord, you can also see supporter chat. So they will be talking in there, and we can answer their questions after the fact.
Cool.
Let's get into it then.
Alrighty. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Launch Sequence Podcast. Today we've got Void Dude with us to talk about the perils of Pyro. This has been a huge discussion since Pyro's come into the game, and much like a lot of things that happen with Star Citizen, the game's not prepared for it, and we can see the discussion that comes out of that. So I'd like to thank you for joining me, man. I think this is going to be a good one. How you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. Very happy to be here. Very happy to discuss Pyro. Pyro's been a lot of fun. And I mean, it's such a massive milestone as well, right? It's like it's freaking Pyro, dude. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Who thought we'd ever see the day?
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Like it never happened.
It's gone, ripped away from our grasps, like all of the great things in Star Citizen, such as hover mode. Yeah, we don't talk about that. So yeah, Pyro was only here for a little while because it's in a preview channel. It's not exactly a testing channel. It's kind of more of a marketing kind of deal. How do you think of that? Like, what do you think of them handling that? It allows them to be like, oh, well, we did get Pyro in this year, get some hype up, but also not have to deliver everything. What do you think?
You know, as with many things in the game, right, a lot of the stuff is kind of like alert to months in advance, be it by Spectrum posts or leaks or rumors or devs letting things kind of slide or whatever.